Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes.
I'm a grown ass man. See, I'm a grown ass man. Grown ass man. Hey everybody, King Dingbat here. I'm in my garage with a cigar. It's only a candy cigar because my wife won't let me smoke one after I put that big fat head up in our bedroom. Let's get rid of that. At this point, I'd be happy for Dak to be playing for somebody else. And my team stinks. I agree. Stinks.
They laugh about us. We're a disgrace. We suck.
I am now Philly 500's bitch.
Dallas still stinks. Yo, everybody doing? King Dingbat here with a special guest. A man known as Copizzle's stepdad, on Mark Holmes. What's up, Mark Holmes? How are you doing?
Come on, give it to me.
What do you want? What am I supposed to do?
Come on now.
What are we talking about?
Denzel Jr. Come on.
I do look like Denzel. Even your daughter said I look like Denzel.
Come on now. Who's your dad?
Okay. He's an Italian guy. I'll tell you that.
Come on, man. Who's your dad?
Oh no, I've already said that Mark Holmes was my dad when I lost that bet.
Philly.
Come on now.
Come on now. Give it to me.
All right, I'll give it to you because I'm in a good mood. Mark Holmes is my daddy.
That's right.
Go. Clip it, love it, all that stuff. You know? Steagles fan 568, man. Thank you so much for the super chat, my man. Shout out to you and hello everybody in the chat. Eagles Clip Philly 215, Joe Martell, VJ, RJ7 Deuce, Metal Maniac, Brian, Eagles Landed, everybody in here. Thank you for being here. Mark, the first question I have for you is
you got a question?
What are the chances? Okay. I do. What are the chances that you don't have a cam on me tomorrow during a live stream waiting for a meltdown?
The chances,
any chance that won't happen?
Odds, the chances that I don't have one, you know there's going to be a camera. Come on, Philly. You know what? I actually have to say thank you to the pandemic, because if it wasn't for the pandemic, we would have never been doing what we're doing now. There wouldn't have been a Philly meltdown cam the way it is, because I was actually planning on going to the draft in Vegas that year. But because the draft was locked down and all that, I said, well, damn, I got to do something fun. And so I said, you know what, let me just go ahead and put a camera, just a feed in to see the reaction of, my buddy Philly 500. And
there you go.
It was freaking insane to see you lose it with CeeDee Lamb being picked by the Cowboys.
Oh, the CeeDee Lamb thing just pissed me off. Because, I knew Dallas wanted to take him, and I knew we needed a receiver, and I'll never get over that. Hey, Army 63B, man, member for 20 minutes of Tinfoil Dingbats, man. Shout out to you for your support. He says, who are we getting with our first pick? I honestly, I think the Eagles are going to get a guy that Mark Holmes wants. I think the Eagles are going to get a guy. Yeah, I really think that if I was to bet who's the most likely, I think it's Jordan Davis, Mark. I do.
That would be, that would be the thing that would scare me. Okay. I'm hoping that you guys go for a receiver, because you guys suck at getting receivers early in the draft. And it's like every year you guys, what's going on with, you're trying to make him a tight end now? Charlie Whiteside?
Oh, JJ Arthega Whiteside. Yeah, they're trying to make him. I don't know, dude. That really drives me up a wall. I think it's a waste of time, because one, it's a little different when you're blocking linebackers and defensive ends than blocking defensive backs. If he's going to be successful at tight end, I think it's going to be doing it receiving. I don't like the move. It's a waste of time. I will say this though, Rager sucks, but I mean Devontae Smith's a good player. Devontae Smith, we hit him.
If you had not gotten Rager and gotten Justin Jefferson.
No, I would have had a meltdown then too, probably, if I'm being honest. But I really, truly didn't hate Jefferson. I just was mad. Here we go.
Stupid What
Okay,
an
What an idiot. Oh.
That was how the article broke out. But we don't need a
Get it out.
Are you kidding me?
I don't want Justin Jefferson his ass.
Justin Jefferson, he's ass.
You done? You enjoy that? That's great.
My God. 2 years later, it's still just like the first time I've seen it.
I mean, how
Yeah. Is it done?
Oh boy.
Done?
Yes.
Done?
Yes.
Okay. Well, here's my response, Mark.
Okay.
We had one. Yo, you gotta be motherfucking kidding. You gotta be kidding me. We have no time for one more play.
Look at this motherfucker running from
What you doing? What was that bullshit? That is not right.
That sucked.
Oh, that's some bullshit. What was that? We had no time for one more play.
We had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us.
Brother Scooter. I love
The
that.
brother screwed us.
The brothers.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys games.
Yeah, you
The brother
literally.
screwed us. The brother screwed us.
It's going to end the way
Yeah, we had an opportunity for one more play.
The greatest meltdown in the history. That beats all my meltdowns combined.
You don't want to make me start pulling out some of the. I don't even want to say his name because you'll probably get pissed off.
I don't. You know, it's funny. I don't even have the meltdowns that I have set up.
No, you know what's funny? No, I tell you what's funny, Philly. You don't even realize that you have them. I don't know if you're like in a trance because you're like, oh, at least I was tamed this week, and I'm like, dude, are you serious? You don't remember the Derek Barnett meltdowns? Okay.
I remember, like, you were like, dude, that was so great. I'm like, no, I was good last week. I purposely didn't have a meltdown. And you're like, nah, you did. I don't notice when I have them. It's just raw reaction, you know. I think this year though I'm going to be good. Like, I only see like 2 or 3 ways I think the Eagles can piss me off. One, if they take a quarterback in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
2, if they take Drake London. I'm not really a big fan.
Okay.
And I think really that's it. I think those 2 situations would probably really piss me off. But I think the Eagles, I got a good feeling. I mean, we got 2 first-round picks, and I think they're going to go. I think they're going to go defensive line and wide receiver. I do think they will get a wide receiver, though. I do. I think they look at all the money that these
don't go for a wide receiver in the first round.
I think they're going to. I mean, I've been saying all off season I don't want them to take a receiver in the first round, but then now they're saying there's like 8 receivers going to go day one. So it's like I don't think, you know, if that many receivers are going in the first round, you may have to take one. I don't trust Howie Roseman picking the 10th, 11th, 12th best wide receiver. You know,
well, we're hearing rumors about you guys trying to trade up. Actually, we're hearing rumors. Well, only person I've heard it from is Mike Fisher, saying that the Cowboys are trying to trade up into the top 14 and were desperate, from what he's heard from 2 team sources. I haven't seen that anyplace else. For me, I look at this draft and I don't say there's really like head and shoulders generational talent up there where you say, I got to trade up there. In fact, you see, it sounds like there's more people trying to trade out of that spot to try and get more compensation. I think, and I don't even think there's a lot of difference between 20 and 32.
No, I mean, I've somebody in my chat, they made a good point like a week ago. They said that after the top 12, from 13 to 30, there's really not a huge difference. And I think they're right. I think there are more teams trying to trade back than to trade up. So to me, that tells me the Eagles are going to look at that as like hey, look, it's a real good value for us to trade up this year. Mm-hmm. I think the Eagles are going to try to. I think they're going to trade up. I think the most likely scenario is they probably go up a couple spots and try to get Jordan Davis. I think if Thibodeau falls, I say past the Giants at 7. I think they try to go up and get him. Like that's a total sleeper guy that they may reach for.
Well, for me, who knows? We've heard everything in the world with the Cowboys, from Cap Boy, Baby Nuts, Stephen Jones, who Terry Lee. Shout out to Terry Lee with the big $20 super holla. From Stephen Jones, basically saying that there's really not a lot of great talent in the first rounds. That really it's the middle rounds. To me, that kind of says then it behooves you to trade back and try and get more picks in there.
Right.
You guys are in cap trouble. What, VJ, are you stupid?
Hey, VJ, he's genius. He's smart. VJ, thank you for the super chat, by the way. Thank you for the super chat. He's very smart. Very smart.
I'm going to tell you, let me go ahead and say it. We're not in cap hell because we've got almost $16 million right now. We got 10 more coming come June 1st because of losing Lyle Collins. That's $26 million. They don't spend money on free agents. That's what the Cowboys don't do. And if they go ahead and get Dalton Schultz's contract done from him being franchise tagged at $10.9 million, you'll end up getting more cap relief here. What doesn't make sense and what really pisses me off is that you had Von Miller literally talking to DeMarcus Ware saying, can you hook a brother up with Jerry Jones? You have, of course, Bobby Wagner, who, wanted to and made calls to be with the Cowboys. And you had Zarius Smith, who also wanted to be here with the Cowboys. If you take the contracts that those guys actually did, the cap hits that they're taking for this year, it comes out to $10.9 million. Exactly what we're actually franchise tagging Dalton Schultz with. So to me, I don't know what the Cowboys are doing. I mean, they're just
what about the following year? What about the upcoming years with that? How are your cap numbers?
We're not in that bad of shape. The thing is people will talk about, Dak Prescott, $40 million quarterback. They put so many, they put voidable years into there and triggers where they can get money off of it. The reality on the salary cap is there is no real salary cap because what's going to happen in 23 and 24, 23 is when the new money starts to come in.
Yeah.
24 is when it's going to explode. For example, just because of the deal that Apple is doing with getting Sunday Ticket. That's $15 million for each team right there. Just from that deal. And that kicks in 23.
I hate that deal. Because I like DirecTV to have it. That way I'm not streaming and running
DirecTV, right? Let's see.
Yeah, I got regular.
I've got Verizon and DirecTV because it's like Verizon has great cable for me for the internet. I've got speed galore. I don't have your issues where I don't have enough speed.
I got fiber optics. I got
got that shit figured out because a lot of times
it don't work right.
Oh, okay. Well, it works right here. So I'm keeping Verizon, but
nothing works right out where I'm at. Let me tell you, this place is going to hell in a handbag. And VJ, thank you for the super chat, my man. He says, Mark Holmes, guys are in cap trouble. Lost Amari, can't pay anyone. Was Dak worth it? Also, why said at least he tried in the meltdown? Why did you say at least they tried?
At least they tried. Mark, I hate Dallas fans, but I like you. Watch your content due to Philly 500. Much respect. Shout out to Jamal. Appreciate you.
Yeah, Jamal, thank you so much for super chat. He likes you. He said, much respect. You're a good dude other than your crap team. Jamal, shout out to you, man.
Well, if they love my son, they got to love the father.
Of course. R. Gravy, thank you for super chat. He says Georgia D-line equals rising tides lift all boat situations. I kind of tend to think especially with you guys do a very good job drafting. You do way better job drafting. I reckon. You do that well. You choke well too, but you do a great job drafting. We don't do a good job drafting. So I really think that the Eagles should just draft an SEC. Just draft from Georgia, draft from Alabama, draft from LSU. Be smart, And I think if they do that, they can't go wrong. You know what I mean?
That is the one thing that has saved the Cowboys because we don't do free agency. We bargain based it up. And actually, let me actually preface it that we actually did pretty good though with some of the bargain basement free agents that we got. If you look at Jaron Curse, Being a journeyman from Minnesota, best season he had was 58 tackles. He comes through the Cowboys, plays safety. He calls out the defense, has 103 tackles, 2 interceptions, and all of a sudden we're like, okay, that guy's pretty good. And we've got some pieces that are decent pieces. So if we can actually get some talent, for me, the guy that you said that you want is my dream guy. Is I would love to get Jordan Davis, because the Cowboys' biggest problem is we can't stop the run. They keep thinking that you can take a defensive end and he can play tackle for you, and they don't believe in a one technique guy. But that is the center of the defense. That is the thing that we need to take care of. That and our offensive line. Our offensive line, we've been living on reputation for quite a while, and our guard play, it's
For like
bad.
30 years.
Well, not 30 years. 2016,
25 plus years.
2016, the offensive line was at its peak. That was a great offensive
it was
line.
good then.
You
Yeah.
know, Travis Frederick, then you got Connor Williams, who's the penalty magnet, and Lyle Collins is up and down, and testing and not testing and everything else. So we've got a lot of issues on the offensive line. I mean, Tyler Badish is not good at a center, but he's okay if you have 2 good guards on each side of him. So, and if you get a Jordan Davis, oh my God, Jordan Davis will literally pick up Tyler Badish and just set him in Dak Prescott's lap.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way he makes it to you guys, though. I mean, you'll have to trade up for him.
Well, and that might be a possibility. It might be why the Cowboys are talking about going. If we traded up, that would be the only guy I would look at and say trade up for.
I saw you guys. I read somewhere that you guys were also trying to trade up maybe for Thibodeau.
I've heard that too.
That?
Let's
I mean, that'd be nasty, Thibodeau and
let's be real here. You're going to hear all kinds of rumors and things. Oh, the Cowboys. I remember how they said that the Cowboys were going to do everything it took to get Johnny Manziel, that they were going to trade up for Johnny. It's like they didn't want to. He was right there, and they just let him go by.
I was hoping.
Oh,
Eagle fans 568. He says, "I love both your videos. Thank you, buddy." Sean, thank you for super chat. He says, if Jordan Davis gets injured, though, he's done for. Does Jordan Davis, like his weight or anything, concern you? I think some people feel like, at least I've talked to, like that he can't play every down, that he's too heavy, maybe.
He's 6'6". That spreads it out. It's not like he's 5'11", 340 pounds. He's 6'6". That is spread out. No. Because for a guy, I mean, that is literally free. Now, anybody can end up being a bust. I mean, we've seen some freaks of nature that we thought Giovanni and Clowney, with the speed and everything else, that he was going to revolutionize defensive ends. And he's had an okay career, but nothing like the number 1 pick in the draft that you would expect.
Right.
You can't coach that kind of size and that speed. And I think if you got him there with Dan Quinn in the middle of the field, oh my God, that would be, that would be the thing that would truly make Micah Parsons deadly.
It could. I think Jordan Davis is too much of a talent to pass up.
Yeah, I
really do. Morgan Holmes, thank you for super chat. Watch how we draft tomorrow. Sirianni is going to walk out of the room with the other coaches saying the brother screwed us. It could happen. VJ, thank you for the super chat. He says, at 500, at Mark, make a in-session bet right now.
A bet for what?
I'll have to think of something. All right, great. Thank you for the super chat. He says, Mark, who are your top 3 targets in the draft?
Jordan Davis. That's the only guy. That's the only thing I want.
That's the only guy you want?
That's the only thing I want. Can a brother?
I definitely want him then, because you'll be pissed off if he's an Eagle.
Oh, Lordy.
That makes me want him more.
I fired Jerry Jones. That mother.
Mark, you know what'll happen. All of a sudden, like in a few days, Mark will be saying, Jordan Davis isn't that great. He ain't too slow.
No. Because I tell you what, back in the day, I wanted Aaron Donald. I was if we could get Aaron freaking Donald. No, Aaron Donald has been God. And this is what pisses me off about the Cowboys, because, the more I listen to Stephen Jones, the more pissed I get. Jamal, I entered you in our drawings. Tomorrow night, we'll be doing lots of drawings for all kinds of stuff. So everybody that did a super chat or any new channel members, we're going to get you hooked up. but they don't believe in the defensive line. They just think that, you can just put anybody in there. It's not a skill position. You can take a 270-pound defensive end and he can play tackle. It's like, no, they're too light in the ass. And for him to literally say, we don't have any real must-gets in the draft. Dude, we need a guard bad.
Right.
If we don't, to me, the defensive line and the offensive line is key to everything. If the Cowboys can get a lights-out offensive guard, okay, that's going to make Zeke a little more effective. We did not have holes last year to open up for Zeke in his old ass, okay, with the PCL tear. That will open up a running game, which we did not have the second half of the season. And if we can open up a running game, it's going to make that much easier for Dak Prescott, where your receivers don't have to be quite as good lights out. It'd be great to have them, but if we can run the football, and Dak's not running for his life. So, to me, it's got to be the line. Right. Offensive line or defensive line first. That's the first priority. But the Cowboys will draft a wide receiver. That's what they'll do.
David Wiley, David Super Chat, he says the meltdown clock is ticking. It sounds like Mark's going to have more of a meltdown than us.
Wait a minute.
That's what I think.
Yeah, Chef David, what are you doing over there?
Jason Goodman, David Super Chat says Jameson Williams or Chris Olave at number 15. If I had to choose between two, I would take Jameson Williams. I think he's the best receiver in this draft.
Well,
that would be who I want.
And is that Chris? He's going to be good. Is that who you want?
I would if we're going to go wide receiver, yeah. Well, my dream scenario is that the Eagles trade up and then the Eagles trade back. So I'd like to see them go up and then go back like later in the first round, maybe pick up extra picks. Like if you could draft Jordan Davis and then trade back and then take a receiver, maybe get yourself an extra third or a second, and then draft David Ojabo. I really love this kid, David Ojabo, but he got hurt. So he's going to drop in a second, So that would be perfect scenario. Marshall Chambers, thank you for super chat. He says, Dallas view defensive line like the Eagles view linebacker. Makes sense. So you guys undervalue defensive line, huh?
Oh, my God. Seriously. I mean, I was surprised that we took Quentin Bohannon in the 6th round because we have not believed in really drafting good defensive linemen since like Russell Maryland and Leon Lett, I mean, it's been that long since the Cowboys have actually made a defensive lineman actually a priority. And see, here's the thing. Okay, and maybe I'm stupid. I'm not that bright. I am a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Not lie.
My man, here, I've got
argue.
Okay, my man Hawkin here believes that the Washington football team is going to be scary because they have Carson Wentz.
I don't think that's totally false.
Washington is the place that quarterbacks' careers go to die.
Yeah, but if Wentz gives them
it doesn't matter.
So you're saying that they're just cursed.
Okay, Ryan Fitzpatrick survived some of the worst NFL teams in history. Okay? Mm-hmm. Basically being the guy that was the guy in waiting because we were so bad that we could actually draft a really good quarterback early in the draft. He survived those teams. He didn't survive the first quarter in Washington. Is he still alive? I ain't seen the bro. I mean, look, seriously, he's just disappeared off the face of the earth. Ryan Fitzpatrick, who was the record holder of starting on the most different teams in the NFL, literally gone into the ether.
Right.
Doesn't matter if you're Donovan McNabb. Doesn't matter if you're Alex Smith with that crazy injury. Doesn't matter if you're RG3. It's kind of like, the only reason why Carson Wentz went there was because he didn't have a no trade clause. And nobody with any trade clause is going to say, yeah, I'll go to Washington. No.
That's true, but I will say this: if Carson, this is his last shot, right? Like if it doesn't work out in Washington, he's no longer starting quarterback. He did go 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions?
Yeah.
He's probably got the best weapon he's ever had in McLaurin, and their defense is getting healthy. You got to keep your eye out because they may be tougher than we think. Now, I hope he gets destroyed by us, but I mean, It wouldn't surprise me. I think Washington's
honestly,
better.
okay, no. All jokes aside, how are you going to feel when he shows up in Philadelphia to play against you?
It depends. If we go out there and we
No,
beat
I'm
the
just
crap
talking
out of
before
them,
the game, and you see Carson Wentz coming out there in burgundy and gold to play against you. Are you going to have a little teardrop in your eye about what could have been?
it
That
depends
was my
how good
guy.
he plays. It depends how good he plays, right? If he goes out and stinks it up, I'll be like, phew. But if he goes out and he takes them to a Super Bowl or something, yeah, it's never going to sit well. Like I've said this before, I wouldn't have traded him. I wouldn't have made that move. But it is what it is. The more interesting thing to me is the fact that whatever happened in Indianapolis, they wanted him gone at all costs. That is pretty
to take
unbelievable.
the cap hit of long. It's just like, just get out, just leave.
get out.
Okay,
Just leave.
I mean,
yeah.
that was the part that you kind of say, huh? To me, it's history repeating itself, because if you remember, Washington brought in Jeff George. You remember Jeff George? That might be before your time, but Jeff George was
I remember Jeff George.
a number one pick in the draft, and he had the big arm, and he had that attitude where he wasn't coachable, and he forced his way out of the Colts.
I actually think
a lot of parallels.
Carson has some Jeff George in him. He definitely does. I agree with you. Now, Easy Money says 24 hours until Howie Goatman drafts the next star quarterback, Matt Corral. He loves Matt Corral, this guy.
Okay.
He's in every chat. That's all he promotes is Matt Corral. Matter of fact, I got to show you something.
Uh-oh. He's got to show us something here.
I got to show you something. Pause.
I'm afraid of what he might be showing us. Shout out to everybody that's in here. I love weed. There's Miss Hot Sauce Lola. There's Army Mother Heather. What's up, Heather? And Gina Thorne. How you doing? Joanne Gonzalez. What's up, JoJo? See, we got something that you guys will never have, man. See, we got all the lovely ladies with the grace, with the style and grace up in here. What you got over there? Sausage Fest?
We got everybody. We got everybody from all over the world. We got 510 people in here. Shout out to everybody here. Please like, please subscribe. So get this. In honor of Easy Money and the fact that I'm a troll, I will be wearing this jersey tomorrow.
Oh, shit.
Matt Corral jersey. How about that? I sent one to my buddy Joey Shakes, and we're going to wear this in honor of Easy Money and the fact that it will guarantee the Eagles do not draft him, which is what we kind of want,
It's what you want. In which case, you won't get what you want. Oh, man. So if they do end up taking him, will we see him?
I'm going to have to make pretend I'm so happy, I guess. I don't know what I'm going to do. If it's the first round, I'm going to lose my mind. I do not want a quarterback in the first round at all.
You were asking me, what's the chances of me live streaming? What's the chances of you having a meltdown?
10%.
That's it?
Because I don't think they're going to do anything. Huh?
Did they fire Howie? Because Howie always pisses you off.
No. The biggest signing the Eagles had this offseason was Howie gave himself a 3-year extension. 3 year. Like I said in my stream earlier, we're the only team I know that the GM gets more press than the players. It's crazy.
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones is the owner.
Owner and GM.
Yeah, I guess Jerry Jones up there. Joey Z, man, thank you for super chat. He says, Mark, you all aren't getting Jordan Davis. Be realistic. Would you be happy with Devontae Wyatt or Zion Johnson?
Actually, I would be happy with Kenyon Green. Kenyon Green's kind of a road grader who can play tackle and guard.
Okay.
Again, this is another one of my pet peeves of the Cowboys. The Cowboys always get a tackle and make him a guard. They'll get a defensive end and say he's a tweener and he'll play tackle. It's like, if you need a guard, get a guard. And see, the thing about this is this. Like you said, they're saying that there might be 8 wide receivers taken in the first round, right?
Yeah, that's
that there'll probably be 3, maybe 4 quarterbacks. Possibly, you could have a run where everybody's getting desperate and say, "We'll take a project because we ain't got nothing else." Left tackles, there are going to be probably 4 or 5 of those guys gone. Edge rushers going to go. Guess what doesn't go a lot? in the first round?
What?
Guards, tight ends, safeties.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at a guard, you're probably going to get the first or the best prospect at that position, as opposed to if you're saying tackle. By the time you get to 24, tackle, you're probably at 5th or 6th.
Mm-hmm.
So I would rather have the best guard in the draft than say the 5th or 6th tackle. Does that make sense to you?
Right? No, I get it. I totally get it. No, I don't disagree. VJ, man, they were super chat. He says, at Mark, we're not missing Wentz. He's Ben Simmons 2.0. Yeah, Ben Simmons is worse, but yeah. Our Gravy Day for super chat. He says, Joe Boo equals jinx. Cowboys won't win as long as he's alive. Is there any way that I can get his head chopped off this year?
Dude, you need to stop that because you've had some bad luck. I mean, remember,
I want his
I'm
head.
serious. I'm telling you, bad things have been happening to you since you've been trying to do that. So
Everything's good. Zachary Davis super chat. He says, will Philadelphia Eagles get Jalen Smith? I don't think so.
Out of the way.
What are you playing?
Mark Holmes is my daddy.
Nathan Henry, thank you for super chat. He says, did Philadelphia play rock, paper, scissors with draft prospects at the combine this year? No, not yet. No. That was a genius thing. Look, I can't help if our coach is a genius. That's genius. I think it's genius. You know? I think it's genius.
If you say so, it was genius. So you feeling good about your team going into the season?
I am. But everybody, you know what they're all asking for? I'll do it one more time for you. They want you to watch this.
Not time for one more play.
The officials are bad.
We had one.
Yo, you gotta be motherfucking
You
kidding
got to
me.
be kidding me. We have no time for one more play.
Look at this motherfucker
What are you doing?
running from
What
a.
are you doing?
To get off the field on 3rd down.
What was that bullshit?
That is not right. Kellen Moore, he's gotta be better, man. He wasn't.
Oh, that's some bullshit. What was that? We had enough time for one more
We
play.
had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
The brother screwed us.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys games.
Yeah, you
The brother
literally.
screwed us. The brother screwed us.
It's going to end the way
We had one bad opportunity for one more play.
Greatest meltdown ever. Greatest meltdown ever.
You know, maybe that's the worst one that you've seen of us. But Philly, you've had some bad ones there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not saying, you don't have Derek Barnett on your team, right? You don't have Derek Barnett on your team. So,
Thank God I don't have that.
Excuse. Yeah, right? Jamal Davis super chat. He said, if we don't draft the safety, do you believe we should sign the Honey Badger for 10, 12 million? I'd like to see the Honey Badger come to Philly. There's a lot of Eagle fans, Mark, feel that there's a chance that the Eagles could get the Honey Badger after the draft.
I thought he was already signed because it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Everybody was like, the Honey Badger is going to be signed. He's going to be signed. I was like, okay. Yeah, I'm old enough to remember that.
Yeah, I think what happened was he and I think he's smart to do this. I think he decided like, hey, I'll wait until the draft is over, and then I'll and then at that point, I'll sign because he'll probably get more money waiting because a team that misses out on a safety or something, may have to pay him more.
Actually, I think it works the other way around. I think that most of the teams, maybe that's the case. I don't know, but I think more chances than not that teams don't have as much of value on you after the draft. And I think that's why Debo, they're trying to move him before the draft because teams will say, okay, we already got our player. But who knows? That could be the case. I'm surprised he's not signed by now already. But that's this is a thing that I start thinking about because are you happy with Big Play Slay and the money you spent on him?
Yeah.
You really are. You're satisfied. Yeah. You think that you got a lights out player and
I think they need to extend him, Yeah, okay. I think we got a lot. I think he was one of the top 3-4 corners last year in the league.
I won't go that far.
What are you talking about?
Okay. If you believe it. Okay.
I think he had better statistics than your boy.
Okay, go. All right, that's cool. All right, that's fine. As long as you're happy with it, it's cool.
I'm happy with
But
Slay, of course.
let's take the Giants. Remember, they got Kyle Rudolph, and I remember it's like, oh man, we should have signed Kyle Rudolph, and they got Galladay and everything else. And it's like you look at all of these guys that they had, and it's like, how many of them actually panned out? They really didn't. And more times than not, you usually look at free agents as like a 2-year window. Usually you get them for 2 years, and after that, it's just like the money we spent for them is too much, and they're gone. So in some regards, maybe I still think that Von Miller, who is getting old, would have helped our defense. I still believe Bobby Wagner would have helped our defense. But, I understand their thought process, and part of the reason why
I really loved the Bobby Wagner.
Part of the reason why I look at it and say that the Cowboys know we do well at the draft. And so we'll go through and we'll do that. We won't mess up losing any of the compensatory picks for Randy Gregory or for Cedric Wilson. And we'll sign players after the draft, because that's when teams start saying, oh, we drafted this guy, we drafted that guy. We can let some of these veterans go and try and bring in some guys, that, spread the money around. It may, it's worked to the point where they haven't really had seasons where they've been, just awful without losing a quarterback. But it's never been enough to get to the peak. That's the problem. It's not enough to get you over the hump.
You guys are the biggest chokers in the world. It's so funny. Rufus Rogers, thank you for the super chat. He says, if they take Davis and a wide receiver, we are the worst in the division. Now, I don't know about you, but there's quite a few amount of Eagle fans that do not like Jordan Davis. Like, they are like, stay away from Jordan Davis. I like the guy. I think he's just so big and such an athletic freak that you have to draft him based on that upside. We're going to lose after this year, Mark. We could lose Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, and what's his face, Hargrave in the same year. We could lose all three of them. So we need to get another tackle. In my opinion. David Wiley, thank you for super chat. He says, I know a meltdown named Derek Barnett. Yeah. Well, Barnett pisses me off. And what sucks about
They didn't call nothing.
who's that?
It should be 5
That Denzel Washington speaking?
Wow. What are they doing with this shit?
Yeah, Philly. Ain't no Philly. Philadelphia.
Derek Barnett.
Philadelphia cream cheese. That's what I'm about to call him. Philadelphia cream cheese.
Fucking bullshit. It was a fucking stop the first time. Second time.
Philadelphia cream cheese.
And you didn't call delayed game.
That's Derek Barnett. That's totally Derek Barnett. That's Derek Barnett. Christopher Baker, man, thank you for the super chat, my man. And then Christopher Baker again, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. VJ, thank you for the super chat. He said, at 500, will you still be doing call-ins 3:45 Eastern? Yeah, for channel members, I'm trying to do it. Yeah, we'll be doing something for channel members tomorrow.
Yeah. So what are your plans for the draft tomorrow? I mean, how are you doing? Are we just going to have Philly cam, or are you going to bring fans on, or are you going to stream? What are you doing?
I'll be doing. I have a video. I have a mock draft video tonight. Then I have tomorrow. I'm going to try to do like a afternoon channel membership live. I'd like to do a channel membership call, and I got to figure out how to manipulate that on StreamYard. So I'm going to do that tomorrow afternoon. Then I'm streaming Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Me, Joey Shakes, will be streaming every second of this draft. At some point during,
okay.
I got a partner, and so at some point, maybe this, I don't know what round, but at some point I may have some people call in and stuff. Every time I try to do a call in, though, I get people, trying to get me in trouble. I bring them on, and there's picture they're not showing their face. Next thing, there's stuff that's going to get me thrown off YouTube. So it's like makes me not want to do it. Well,
what I do, what we'll do is, is we actually do a Zoom call. So if you're a channel member, you get the link where you can call in. So at least, you have some control.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll do that
Yeah.
so channel members can call in. Oh, that's a good idea.
That year when you broke down, it was actually really cool because I came up with the idea because I said, I want to have people around, but it was the beginning of the pandemic. Is like, everything's on lockdown. So I said, okay, we'll do a Zoom in call. That way we can all have a conversation together and stuff. And then we had the Philly cam. And so if you actually take the live stream in there, it was hilarious listening to everybody laughing at you, literally losing your mind, not once, but twice. Because when they took Hurts, you lost it again there too, as well as CD Lamb. So,
I did pretty good last year. I was very happy last year in the first round.
I understand that. Yeah,
Joseph Sanchez. Thank you for Super Chat. Says, when will Dallas win a playoff game again? That's a great question, Mark.
Read between the lines, buddy. Read between the lines.
Yeah, he knows not anytime soon. James 23.87 game. And thank you for Super Chat. He says, best greats from Hanover, Germany. Shout out to you in Hanover. You're great. If I had one wish tomorrow, get me Devin Lloyd. But we all know what Howie's thinking about linebacker. Yeah, Howie doesn't draft linebackers. The Eagles haven't drafted a linebacker since 1979 in the first round. Since
Kyler Murray's fifth-year option has been picked up.
Whose? Kyler Murray's
fifth-year option has been picked up.
Yeah, that's interesting. Jose, thank you for Super Chat. He says, question for you both. Who's the bust of this class top 20? Is there anybody
the Giants pick?
Anybody the Giants pick? I'm going to say Drake London. I'm not a Drake London guy. So I'm going to say Drake London is, if he goes top 20. Drew, thank you for Super Chat. He says, Mark, Dak is 1-3 in the playoffs in 7 years. Your thoughts?
What's Carson Wentz?
Well, Carson don't play for the Eagles.
I was just saying. You know what? Hey.
Carson's played 5 minutes.
What's Deshaun Watson?
I don't know. What is Deshaun
Watson? 1-3.
Is he 1-3?
I think he's got one win.
Interesting.
Whatever.
Mark can't answer that question. I love it. Jeremiah Smeltzer, welcome to Dingbat Nation, buddy. Welcome to Dingbat Nation just in time. So you think the Giants are still trash, right?
Oh my God. The Giants they're fire selling the team right now. I mean, when you start shopping around your first round wide receiver from last year because he doesn't show up for OTAs.
Have you ever seen anything like
that? I've never seen that. But
I've never seen that either. In 1 year, first round pick, they want to get rid of him. And Eagle fans are like, we should get him. What's that?
If you want to be on the Zoom call tomorrow, you have to be a channel member. So if you become a channel member, the link is posted in the community tab, so that way you can call in and be part of it and things, and we can discuss everything that's on there, as well as make fun of Philly 500. What I'm really sad about?
What?
I'm actually pissed off at your brother.
Pizzle? Pizzle?
That he's a little biatch. Okay, I thought I raised my kids to be a man. I thought he was the 60-minute man.
He's a 60-minute man.
I'm not going to stream. No, because you're a little bitch.
Oh, he's not streaming?
He said he's not streaming the draft.
I tried to get him on my channel when the Eagles played the Giants. He was like, nah. And everybody's asking me. Pizzle's a funny character, man. He just is. Joseph Sanchez, thank you for Super Chat. He says, Dallas always wins till the playoffs starts. Well, and that's what I said. I told Mark, how many times did I tell you, Mark, that there's no way Dallas is going to go anywhere, but that they will choke. Remember I said that? Do you remember?
But at least
I said that?
At least I had the enjoyment of seeing your team lose and bow down to us twice.
Not twice. You can't count the second game. It was backups. We had third string guys.
You play to win the game.
No, you play to stay healthy for the next week. Jonathan Burns, welcome to Dingbat Nation, buddy. Welcome to Dingbat Nation. Thank you so much for joining.
What did it do for you, Philly?
Nothing. It didn't work out, but it was a good plan nonetheless.
Wouldn't you feel better had you beaten the Cowboys?
No. I didn't care. I was strictly in playoff.
Team in the division that beat the Cowboys, Giants, and Washington. You suck.
Then listen, we went to Tampa Bay, played the Buccaneers, Tom Brady. You lost at home.
We did the same thing Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers did. We lost.
But I don't blame Rodgers.
Why?
I blame that because the fourth quarter they were winning, and then they blocked that punt for a touchdown. That was the whole.
So wait. So my quarterback at least threw a touchdown pass, and at least ran in. Yeah. And Aaron Rodgers had no TD passes, had under 200 yards passing, and you don't blame him.
No,
do I have that right?
I blame the coach, and I blame special teams on that.
You know what's funny is we have Cowboy fans that actually give Green Bay a pass because they say, "Well, the weather was bad."
Well, the weather was bad.
Packers, that's one of the advantages they had.
But why did the Packers
California team?
But why didn't they run the ball? All they had to do was run the ball and they would in that game. What you guys is your coach.
We can't run the ball. We couldn't run
you tried to do it. You tried to do a quarterback draw with 14 seconds left and no timeouts, Mark.
We're handicapped because we've got Special Olympics coaches. No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to insult Special Olympics coaches.
You don't like your coach now, right?
Oh my God. I'm sorry, Kellen Moore.
I love this.
Cowboys.
He doesn't like
I listen. I am a diehard Cowboy fan. I love the Dallas Cowboys, but we got idiots. I'm sorry. The more I hear Mike McCarthy in press conferences, I realize the dumber he is. The fact that he had Aaron Rodgers and went to a Super Bowl, but somehow he's deflecting to Kellen Moore. That Kellen Moore is the answer with an offense that we've been running since the 90s. And we didn't run the football. Literally. Zeke had 28 yards. Tony Pollard had 14.
Yeah.
And if you look at the second half of the season, we couldn't run the football at all. And we were a running team. And what are you laughing about?
I just love the fact that you're not happy with your team.
I've never been happy with our coaches. I mean, we had Jason Carrot. I'm sorry.
It brings me so much. It's like
it's eat and grin.
It's like you loving that when we signed Derek Barnett, you ran and made a video. Philly 500 is going to freak out because Derek Barnett's.
I knew it. I was like, I'm going to get mine up before you do because I know how pissed off. I bet you when you saw that, you were like, motherfucker.
Well, no, yeah, I was pissed off. I really was going to do a April Fool's joke that the Eagles re-signed Derek Barnett. And then they really did. And I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
They pulled a joke on you.
Yeah, the joke was on me. That's what I said, too. The joke's on me.
Oh, man. I actually did. For April Fool's, I got up early. It was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and that Jerry Jones was stepping down as GM of the Cowboys, and people thought it was real. They were like, "Oh my God!" It was like I got like 35,000 views on it. It's like I felt bad because it's like I wish he had, but no.
I every time I try to do April Fool's, it always comes back on me. Eric Gallagher, thank you for super chat. He says it's actually 1980 per Merrill Reese. Still way too long. 1980. Okay, I thought it was 79.
Really?
But that's a long time for linebacker.
That's us with defensive tackles.
Yeah. And we haven't drafted a corner in the first in 20 years. The last guy we drafted a corner in the first round was Lito Shepherd. I want to say 02 or 03, I think. I mean, it's too long. I don't know why these teams get they get fascinated with only certain positions they want to spend money on.
Wide receivers and offensive tackles and defensive ends for the Cowboys. That's us.
Yeah.
It's funny that Jamal brought up Kadarius Toney. When you think about it, I mean, he was a highly touted wide receiver. And to make a trade for him, if you can get him for like a 4th round pick, I would do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
He's still on his rookie contract, so he's still relatively cheap. Yeah, you put him with that. Because you can't really judge. Can you really judge a wide receiver that played with the Giants this past year? They didn't have an offensive line. They really didn't have a running game. Their quarterback was the best player on the field, but that didn't really say much because their team was
Right.
ass. So
They
looking
are
at
ass.
what he did there with that offense, it was putrid. Didn't they have a game where they had negative yards and a half in passing?
Yeah, I think they did at one
I mean,
point.
it's the
Yeah.
first time- I mean, how you have negative yards in a game passing? Somehow that's how bad the Giants were. So do you judge him and say he sucks? Or is he just
No, he doesn't suck. I mean, when he played, the little bit he did play, you could see the talent. You could definitely see
he was
this
the
guy's
second
immensely
leading
talented.
receiver? I mean, granted with only 420
But
yards.
here's the problem. And Jamal, thank you for Super Chat. Says Philly, ask Mark, they don't draft the wide receiver. Will they be okay? Kadarius Toney, we all read my mind. Here's the thing. Can you trust
jackass?
But he
That's
no,
what
he did.
I was talking about.
I just had to make sure I read it. But the thing is can you trust a guy that has basically made a team want to get rid of him after 1 year? A first-round pick.
Yeah, but see, it's a new regime.
That scares me.
It's a new regime, and and he didn't show up for the OTAs. A change of scenery might be what he needs because he's just realizing, look, I don't want to play for Daniel Jones again.
Well, Jonathan Burns reads my mind. Thank you for Super Chat. He says, would you feel about trading Regular for a third rounder or package him in a
third round for him?
Package it in with Dillard to get a DK. Yeah, you can't get a third round for him. But I've said this all season. If I could get DK Metcalf, I would get DK Metcalf in a second.
That would take you a lot of draft capital.
Well, yeah, probably first and a fourth, first and a third. I'd do that.
She's going to take you more than that.
I'm not giving up. I would never pay 2 first-round picks for a wide receiver. But what do you think about the receiver situation just in general? I mean, these guys are making a lot of money now, and I think that's one of the reasons why you're going to see so many wide receivers go. These teams don't want to pay those guys.
Here's the thing. For me, I still think tight ends are more important. Having a great tight end to me is more important than having the lights out wide receivers.
Yeah,
I mean, Green Bay had Devontae Adams, right? What happened to them in the playoffs?
They stopped running the ball. They would have won the game. They didn't run the ball. Jamal Davis Super Chat. He says he's upset because Zeke is cooked. Yeah, what are your thoughts on Zeke?
I don't know. Zeke is not the guy he was a couple years ago. I will give you that. But our offensive line was not the offensive line of a couple of years ago either. The problem is Zeke has never been a guy who can make people miss in the backfield. And too many times the way this offense was running, he's having to make people miss in the backfields. There aren't holes there to run. Tony Pollard is more like a reverse Deebo Samuels. He's a running back / wide receiver, and he's able to make plays and stuff that aren't necessarily there, which is why I say you need the guard. You need to fix the offensive line. See, we were able to run the football the first half of the season before Tyron Smith got hurt. Once Tyron Smith got hurt, and then you took brought Lyle Collins back for right tackle, you took Terrence Steele and put him at left, and he had just gotten down right tackle. That made all of the problems with Connor Williams, who was like the penalty magnet. He had 14 or 15 penalties last year. And then you realize how bad Badish was. And with that, you couldn't run the football. Some of those games, we didn't have 50 yards rushing the football going down the stretch. And if you can't run the football and have some balance, you can blame it all on Dak if you want. But, Zeke had a torn PCL. You had Tony Pollard out with the plantar fasciitis. So, and the offensive line sucked. So, hence the running game wasn't there. Stop smiling.
He didn't look good last year. Rufus Rogers, thank you for the Super Chat. He asked a question a lot of people ask me. Can we talk about in that clip we played of you guys' meltdown where you say at least we tried? That's the weakest thing I've ever said by a fan. That's what he said. Right. You were in excuse mode, disbelief, right? I get it. I get it.
Hey, at least we made it. At least we tried to get back in there. Okay, we tried something. Nothing was working. We have a shitty ass coach and play caller.
Would you like to see Dallas try to get Debo? Because I think Debo is a Cowboy killer.
I still think it's going to take at least a first, a second, and another pick to get him. I mean, it's going to be a lot to give up. Wow. And again, this goes back to me, and my philosophy is if you have a great offensive line, your running back and receivers don't have to be as good. If your quarterback has 4 or 5 seconds to throw, you could have Whiteside out there and he'll get open.
Not
But if
true.
okay. All right. I was trying to get
we have a pretty good offensive line, and he still don't get open.
But no, honestly, though, if your quarterback has time to throw the football, guys are going to break open.
Right.
The cornerback can't hold for so long. Eventually, something's going to break down. And if you can run the football, like I've said before, it makes it that much easier. You're balanced. See, the Cowboys, the thing that they did best was actually running out of 12 personnel, 2 tight end sets. And the reason being is you can basically go wherever the defense is not. If you have a pass catching and blocking tight ends. If they put 8 men in the box, then my tight ends are now wide receivers. So basically, I've got 4 wideouts. If they don't put 8 men in the box, then I've got the 2 tight ends that can block, in which case I've got numbers against the defense. And that's the thing that worked really, really well for him until Blake Jarwin got hurt. And then Tony Pollard and Zeke were both injured, and they just didn't do it that much anymore.
Do you think you?
And that's one reason why I think we actually need to get a tight end earlier than later.
So you want a tight end fairly early this year?
I think at least in the third.
You want to play 12-man personnel, 2 tight end sets, I guess, huh?
I would love to do that.
Yeah, because I mean, it worked for us for quite a number of years. We were able to do it with Selleck and Ertz, and then we were able to do it Ertz and Goddard. I think for us, teams adjusted though, and we kind of had to get away from it a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, I totally understand. Jeremiah Smeltzer, man, thank you for super chat. Zachary Carrasco, thank you. He says, what about Vince Papale to the Eagles? He's already been there.
Yeah, put him out on the field. I'd be happy with that one. But see,
I bet he runs faster than JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
See, if we were to go, here's where it really worked. And the thing is I think this is going to be Tony Pollard's last year. I don't see them paying him next year. I just don't see them paying a running back on there. In fact, I think Zeke will be gone too because they'll be able to get rid of him as well.
So you draft a running back this year?
They may. I think that you might see him in the 4th or the 5th. If we got 4 5th round picks, so they probably will. But see, if you end up doing 12 personnel and use Tony Pollard more, because Tony Pollard is that guy that can be that receiving threat. He's kind of like a Deebo Samuels almost. So that's where, again, if they're in that 8 personnel, 8 men in the box, you go ahead and split Tony Pollard outside as a wide receiver right there. See, that's where you can have some versatility with this offense. And who knows what they're going to do? I have no clue. I've tried speculating, and you can't get in the mind of Jerry Jones. It'll just drive you crazy.
Yeah. Hell, Rel, man. Thank you for super chat. He says, Howie is going to get this one right. Going to have a cigar in my mouth while sipping something with my pinky up. Always pinky up when you drink. It shows class. Good luck, Mark Holmes, but not really. Yeah, I think it's going to be
together.
What?
Class and Eagles don't go together.
Yes, it does.
It's truly not.
We are the real America's team. You know that, right? I say this all the time. Let me ask you this question: how much do you think the loss of Cooper and Wilson are going to hurt them? And do you think Gallup will be healthy first year back from that injury?
I don't expect to. Okay, here's the thing. Cowboys always overestimate a guy coming back from injury. They tell you
torn ACL.
Well, yeah, he's not going to be ready to start the season.
Yeah, well, usually it takes a guy a full year.
I don't look him till middle of the season being ready to go, to really be ready to go.
So who are your receivers besides CD Lamb?
We end up getting James Washington from the Steelers, and we've of course got CD. We got Noah Brown. And we'll probably draft somebody else, and we'll probably bring in another free agent. The thing that's interesting, and I know you guys won't give Dak credit on this one, but what's interesting is where you've taken receivers. No, hold on. Let's look at this.
No, I'm just reading the comment.
Okay, take Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb in Green Bay after like 2015, he was like 14 yards or 13 yards of reception. That was like his pinnacle. The next 4 years, he went downhill to the point where Green Bay just said, you're done. He came to Dallas, and he averaged a full yard higher per completion than he had ever. He ended up having 800 and some odd yards. He had 3 TDs. He had 3 that were called back. He ended up doing so well that the Texans literally paid him big time to sign him there. In which case, with Deshaun Watson, he went back down to his Green Bay numbers, and then he goes back to Green Bay, and he's back down there. So you looked at this and said, all of a sudden, he got a major bump with Dak Prescott. You could look at Amari Cooper, and Amari Cooper had been going downhill until he came to Dallas with Dak Prescott, and his numbers went way up the hill. It's going to be interesting to see how his numbers are in Cleveland now with Deshaun Watson throwing. Will he be back there where he was, the best year with Dak, or will it be kind of tailed off like it was this past year? We'll find out. So when you take a James Washington, who was no longer really part of the offense there because, he fell out of favor, that you might actually see him play pretty well with Dak, that he may end up having his career numbers, because we've had several instances. There were like 4 receivers, including Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant averaged his last year with Dak Prescott more yards per completion than he did ever with Tony Romo.
Interesting. I hear a lot of Cowboy fans think that Dak is a problem. They can't win the big game.
If it were up to Cowboy fans, we wouldn't have a team because they'd want to get rid of everybody. They've got this fantasy football mentality of, oh man, trade this guy, we'll go get Tom Brady, or we'll trade Jalen Smith and we'll go ahead and we'll get Bobby Wagner. Just trade Jalen Smith for Bobby Wagner. It's like, it doesn't work that way, guys. As much as you want to, it doesn't work that way.
Yep. 03 David Super Chase says, when are you guys going to settle and kiss for real? What the hell are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Dominic, thank you for Super Chat. He says, trade up to get Sauce, then draft Drake London. I like Sauce Gardner. I do not want anything to do with Drake London. I don't want Drake London.
Would that be your meltdown?
That would be a meltdown, because I just don't think he can get separation in the NFL. I mean, I could totally be wrong about this guy. You know me. I've had meltdowns and then I was wrong. I mean, just look at Jefferson. He'll probably be the best receiver in the league because I said that. But that's how I feel. Morgan Holmes, man, thank you for Super Chat. He says, Howie Vision, how about Howie Multiverse of Madness? Pair Williams with the escaped alien from the Area 51 that they call Devontae Smith. We're going to be a problem. Yeah, I think Williams and Smith would be a big problem. The question is how Williams coming back from an ACL. So how soon would that be? I don't know.
They're already saying that, the first and second game he'll probably miss and stuff. So if you're already saying he's going to miss the first, second game, like I said.
Well, yeah, but everything we've done has been nothing really, in my opinion, about next year. It's all about 2023, 2024. It makes me wonder what they think of Jalen Hurts. Because if you really believe in him, huh?
I don't think they really think highly of him.
I mean,
they've done nothing to help him this year.
No, they've done nothing to help him right now. And then they come out with a statement last week saying, everything in the draft's about the future, not so much immediate help. And that makes me think, a guy like Jameson Williams coming off for ACL, yeah, they're no rush to bring him back. So they could go for guys like that and stash them. Cole's Cowboys Sports Report, man. Thank you for Super Chat. He says, to everybody that's saying Watson is better than Dak, please pull up the stats, and it shows that it is very similar.
Exactly similar.
Hey, listen, I stick up for your boy Dak in the terms of I don't think he's a bad quarterback. Guy threw 37 touchdowns last year. I think he's the best quarterback in the division. But he has to prove he can win a big game. I mean, he's got to prove he can win a big game. Okay. And he hasn't. I'm not saying he can't, but I'm just saying he's been in the league how long now? 7 years?
This will be a 7.
And he's what, 1-3 in the playoffs? And 2 of those losses are home games?
Yeah, but he did beat Russell Wilson. Seattle.
Yeah, they beat Seattle, but you can't. When's the last time Dallas has been in a championship game? Like 25 years, right?
You can't put all that 27 years, but you can't put all that on Dak. He was
no, but I'm saying if you're paying a guy $45 million, right, or whatever, you're paying him to win. But you're paying him to win, right?
I hate to tell you that, that's the big thing everybody talks about. Oh, you're paying. How about all the money Kirk Cousins has been stealing?
Kirk Cousins stinks. He's
Kirk
a choker.
Cousins made over $200 million already in his career.
Listen, if you want to talk about that, what about Sam Bradford? How the hell did that guy make money?
Carson Palmer.
I agree with you. Those guys are not winners. But is Dak Prescott?
That $40 million right now is not as big as it used to be even a year ago.
No, of
You're
course
seeing
not.
that. I mean, Derek Carr's making more than Dak is right now.
Right.
What has Derek Carr done?
Right.
I mean, seriously. What has Derek Carr done?
I totally agree with you. This is my argument on why you go out and you trade for a Deebo Samuel or a DK Metcalf and pay him now, because in 2-3 years it's not going to be as much money. You look at a guy like Justin Jefferson. What are you going to do when his contract comes available? These guys constantly reset the market. When his contract,
it'll be like $40 million for the wide receivers. But everybody understand this. The money you're looking at now is going to be chump change in 2 years. The salary cap is going to be over by 2024. It's going to be about $300 million.
Right.
So, that's where right now we're talking about, oh my God, $30 million for Tyreek Hill, who is 28 years old, by the way. We're going to be looking at that and saying, man, that's a good contract.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
And like I said, when Justin Jefferson comes up and things like that, it's going to be through the roof. And that's going to be all these players.
Absolutely. Nathan Henry, thank you for super chat. He says, Philly, you just made Drake London. I probably made him a Hall of Famer.
Justin Jefferson.
Look, I can usually tell guys good by the name. Drake London sounds like a Canadian rapper from Toronto to me. It doesn't sound like a wide receiver.
Okay. All right.
That's what I think. All right, Mark. Well, I want to thank. We're over an hour now. I've got some things to do. I'm sure you have some videos to make as well. I want to thank you for coming on. Yeah, I want to thank you for coming on, and give me like your overall feelings headed into this draft. Like, you think it's going to be good for the Cowboys, bad for the Cowboys, or what?
The draft is usually pretty good for the Cowboys. I mean, we've had our bust, our tacos and things like that. But for most part, the Cowboys have been able to find players. I mean, we arguably got the best player in the draft last year in Micah Parsons. And if the Cowboys can have another draft where we find a really impact player, I think it could go a long ways. And, as everybody's gone through, the Cowboys have gotten worse. Well, Green Bay's gotten worse. And if Deebo Samuels ends up going to the Jets or someplace else, you can look at the 49ers and say that they got worse. And at some point, Tom Brady's going to hit the fucking wall. He's just going to. And I don't know that Tampa Bay is going to be that great without Bruce Arians. So, even for you guys, for us, there's an opportunity out there that you may not have to be great just to make the playoffs and possibly make some noise.
Yeah. It should be interesting. E-Mobster, man, thank you for super chat. He says, get Dean, Kobe. Yeah, well, listen, I would love him, but will the Eagles draft the linebacker in the first round? That's the question. Let me thank everybody for joining on both streams. Thank you so much, Mark. You'll be streaming tomorrow. Everybody go sub up, Mark. And thank you again for coming on. Thank you for super chat subscribers and everything. And yeah, we're less than 24 hours away from tomorrow's draft. So
holy
it should
cow.
be fun. I will have a video tomorrow. I will have a video tonight, and then tomorrow I'll be just doing some channel member stuff. But any last words, Mark?
Have a meltdown tomorrow for us. We need a good meltdown. Okay.
I hope I'll be doing white reruns celebrating, but we'll see.
No, we want to see a meltdown. But
all right.
I love you, son.
Love you
be
too.
Safe out there. Make sure you brush your teeth.
All right. All right. With that said, everybody, take care. Talk to you later. Thank you for joining me. He took off and got the hell out of there. Did you see that? But thank you for joining me. I got some stuff to do. I should have a mock draft coming out later tonight, so look for that. And as always, we're going to let Mark and his son take us out.
One more play.
The officials are back.
We had one more.
You gotta be motherfucking
You
kidding
got
me.
to be kidding me. We have no time for one more play.
Look at this motherfucker
What are you doing?
running from
What
a.
are you doing?
To get off the field on third down.
What was that bullshit?
That is not right.
Kellen Moore, he's got to be better, man. He wasn't.
Oh, that's some bullshit. What was that? We had enough time for one more play.
We had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
the brother screwed us.
At least they fought back and tried.
Only Cowboys games.
Yeah, you
The
literally.
brother screwed us. The brother screwed us.
It's going to end the way
We had an opportunity for one more play.
Hi, Michael Anthony, Fitness here, MAF.